Welcome back to Slushie Review.
Yes.
It's been a while. But I'm Keith.
And I'm Chris.
And today we will be reviewing the much anticipated Matrix Resurrections. Number 4 in the trilogy.
Plus one.
And yeah, we're back. Sorry, it's been a while. COVID really.
Do, man?
COVID's out here, guys.
We each slayed the dragon that is COVID.
We both had COVID, not at the same time.
By which I mean slayed it. I just kind of like cowered in the corner and eventually left me alone.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It just walked out of my house one day. I was like, fuck you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, thanks for not killing me. Thanks for letting me live.
Facts. Yeah. So, yeah, good time. So we're back. Man, we haven't posted since No Way Home.
And man, what a fucking movie that was.
I mean, that was a good way to end 2021.
Honestly.
To be fair,
If you want to go out on a high note,
we did.
it does not get any higher.
We did.
For me.
So Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Happy New Year.
And it is 2022, and the new Matrix is here. Before we get started, a couple housekeeping notes. We got slushies today.
Yeah.
From good old 9-11. 7-Eleven.
Oh my God.
I got
Oh my God.
I don't want to blame it on 9/11, but
It didn't help anything.
but let's see. The Slurpee I'm drinking today, unfortunately, I got Mountain Dew. It's all mixed in now, so it's fine. But it's Mountain Dew, cherry, and Sprite cranberry.
Mm-hmm.
Was that what it was?
Yeah. Sprite cranberry is delicious.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
I can't. It all got mixed in,
It's
so
all
fuck it.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. So,
jet fuel melted all those Mountain Dew.
well, the
Steel
cherry
melted
kind of
everything.
overpowered everything, which is fine. I'm cool with that. But that first taste of Mountain Dew, I was like, man, I'm gonna wait. Just let it melt down.
It tastes like a Flintstones vitamin a little bit.
The Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. It does taste like medicine. It's gross.
Yeah, it's somehow like if a liquid can be chalky.
Facts.
It is like a little bit.
I agree. It doesn't taste good.
I don't know how they do it. I don't want to know how they do it. I want to know how they do it so they can figure it out and stop doing it.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's 7-Eleven. Or Mountain Dew.
It's not even 7-Eleven's fault. I mean, they're propagating it, but it's Mountain Dew's fault.
Fair.
And there's like a million. There's more fucking flavors of Mountain Dew every week, so I don't know.
That's fair.
Somebody thinks they're doing something right.
Mm-hmm. What flavors you get? Let the people know.
Of Slushie?
Yeah.
Or Slurpee? I got a... Can we say Slurpee on the thing?
I don't give a shit.
Get my Slurp on.
At this point.
I got...
That's what she said.
I got Sprite cranberry and cherry.
There it is.
In like
He didn't get Mountain Dew because he's smart.
Well,
Smart individual over here.
I know what I like.
That's fair. So do I, but I know what I don't like, and I still got it because
There was no Coca-Cola option because the old standby is a cherry cola swirl, but they didn't have the option.
See, it's funny because I don't like Coke, and I wouldn't have got Coke. I don't know, but I was like, let me be adventurous, and then I filled up half my fucking cup with Mountain Dew. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I said that too. I was like, why am I doing this? And I was like, okay, maybe I can fill it up with the rest, and like I got like a squirt of cherry. I was like, fuck.
Just like overflow it so all the Mountain Dew floats out.
I should have did that. It's not my fucking machine.
I'm not gonna be one cleaning it out at 2 a.m.
That's also fair. I wouldn't do that to her. She seemed nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. Other than that, let's hear a word from somebody who sponsors us.
7-Eleven.
I mean, fuck it. Why not?
Home of the Mountain Dew Slurpee
Fuck
that you don't want.
Same. We'll be right back after these breaks. Thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us at Slushie Review on Twitter at Slushie Review. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search Slushie Review. We pop up. We're the first result. And then check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, coming soon, Instagram. Follow us on IG.
The gram.
At Slushie Review Podcast.
Yes.
We just started it. Need some followers, need some likes. And welcome back. Great job, guys. We're going to go right into the Matrix Resurrections with the cast with young Chris. Okay. Who's in this bitch?
Okay. In this bitch, we've got a lot of returning people. Well, like a few. Like two. Like two.
3, really.
Yeah, 3. So we've got Keanu Reeves is back as Neo / Thomas Mr. Anderson. We've got Carrie Ann Moss is back as Trinity / Don't Call Me Tiffany.
Facts.
We've got, I'll just gonna do the returners first. Or at least like returning characters. We've got Jada Pinkett Smith as Niobe. We've got Priyanka Chopra Jonas as Sati.
She's not returning.
Isn't that not the girl all grown up, like 20 years later?
No, I thought she's been out. I thought she's been around for a while.
I don't know.
Hasn't she?
I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. I don't.
No, I knew she was like, because she's in the Bollywood, right?
But at least like the character, at least is a returning character.
Oh, I guess that's fair. Sorry.
But yeah, it's not. I don't know if that was the same child.
Nah, she was born in 82. She's older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the little girl in 2003.
Well then,
when I was 17.
disregard the simpleton doing the cast.
No, when you said it, I was like, no, I know her.
We met.
I don't know her, but she's married to the guy from the Eternals. What's his name? After the credit scene, what was that superhero that came? Thanos' brother.
Really?
Yeah.
She's married to
Jonas. She's a Jonas brother. Wife. Yeah, that's her name. Priyanka Chopra Jonas. They just got married like a year or two ago. Something like that.
Well, see, that's why I didn't know it. I'm out of the loop.
You're not up on current events.
I'm out of the loop.
Listen, I just figured it out too.
I haven't been up on current events since about
82.
88. So
when were you born?
88.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, around there is where I get real foggy up until today.
Facts.
But anyway, next up we've got Yahya Abdul Mateen II as Morpheus / Agent Smith, which threw me for a loop.
Same.
We've got Jonathan Groff as Smith, Agent Smith. Jessica Henwick as Bugs. Neil Patrick Harris as the analyst / therapist. We'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
Christina Ricci as Gwen DeVere. Lambert Wilson back as the Merovingian. Same dude, right?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
I'm pretty sure his picture is him as the Merovingian.
Sometimes the
isn't it?
Right now, my picture of Christina Ricci is Keanu Reeves. So sometimes these pictures are not reliable for me. Okay,
like,
it's the same.
Yeah.
Look at Christina Ricci. She's seen some
cute,
falling on some hard times, but she knows kung fu.
Still, I used to love Christina Ricci.
Andrew Lewis Caldwell as Jude. Sorry if I butcher your last name. Toby Onwumere is Sequoia. Max Remelt as Shepard. Brian J. Smith as Berg. Arindira Ibarra as Lexi. L. Trey Wilson as Hanno. Max Moff as Quillian. Mumbi Maina as Elster. A lot of one-word names in this movie.
I don't know any of these people.
So after this, at this point, I think I'm gonna call it because I don't see anyone cool. No one's really jumping out at me.
Well, let me do it for 20 seconds, Kevin.
Call it. Call it.
Yeah, I looked at the rest and I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
There's no quick uncredited.
No cool wrestlers. No Stan Lee cameos.
Nope.
No John Leguizamo's or anybody cool.
Facts.
So I'm going to throw it over to Keith for the plot of this movie. Plot it up.
Watch this, guys. I don't know. No, I'm just playing.
That one would have been me if I did it.
Agent Smith will suffice. So, The Matrix Resurrections, 20 years later, it's really 19, but because the last two came out in 2003. Either way, give or take a two. But yeah, 20 years later.
You're striking while the iron's hot.
Yeah. We pull up on Keanu Reeves and, we pull up on what looks like the beginning of the first Matrix, except for different. Same, but different. Yeah. Same, but different. And then we see some people watching it as well, who turn out to be the captain. What was her name? Bugs.
And,
Seek?
Yes, Seek.
So we have one Seek. When he first said his name, that's the first thing I thought about. So we have one Sikh. If you want to just dial me down to my religion, I'm a Sikh, but I also like to restore cars. So we have one Sikh. So either way, so we watched basically the beginning of the first Matrix, and we find out that the guy in the trailer, who we all thought to be Morpheus, is actually Agent Smith. And he's an agent, and he's trying to track down what looks like Trinity from the first Matrix. Everything gets turned on its head. It's kind of haywire. Basically, the Matrix is still the Matrix that we know. We think the Matrix is the Matrix and the outworld is the outworld, like we saw in the real world is the real world, like we saw in the other three movies. Inside this movie, Keanu Reeves is a video game developer, and he made the Matrix trilogy. So in his world, it didn't happen. It's just a video game, and everybody in the Matrix thinks that it's a video game. And he is in therapy. He's on pills, which happen to be blue. Weird coincidence.
If they were green, he would die.
Fat, maybe? I don't know. So, yeah. And then we find out Trinity is alive in this version of the Matrix. And she goes by Tiffany. And she doesn't know Thomas Anderson, a.k.a. Neo. And then from there, yeah, that's about it. We're trying to get back out of the Matrix some way, somehow. We're trying to find out if Trinity's alive. We find out that Neo is technically alive, but he's not, and he's in the Matrix, and he has to get out of the Matrix again. It's a whole thing. He didn't die in the last one. He did die, but they kept him alive because machines can do crazy things. And that is where we are with the plot of that movie. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Anything you want to add to the plot?
No.
Same. So, with that being said, let's get to, I guess we'll get to some likes. Mm-hmm. Let me just say this one thing, though. Mm-hmm. I absolutely adore The Matrix, and super excited to watch this. And because of young COVID, it came out December 21st, and it is now officially January 17th. And happy Martin Luther King Day, by the way. And yeah, so I was pretty excited to see it. We were going to see it in the movies, but again, COVID kicked our ass and said no, sit down somewhere. So we did. And I've seen no actual reviews, but I've seen headlines for this movie. I've seen what I think are reviews, but not the whole review, just like what people think in like one word phrases or headlines. And no one seemed to like this movie. And again, and I'll say it again, I think nostalgia is really, it's a terrible thing, man. And ironically, it's one of my first likes, but it's also a terrible thing because I don't think people watching this movie are watching it as a new movie. They're watching it, judging it based off the old movie, which is fine. It's fine, but it's also not. We go back into Mortal Kombat. We go back into what other movies we do that people just didn't understand what the fuck was going on. And either way, that's just a little side note I wanted to say just because I do love this franchise and I really enjoy a lot of it. And I'll tell you if I enjoyed this one. So let's get to our likes. And I know, let's start with Chris.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I mean, we can start with me if you want.
No, we can start with me.
I wrote a lot down.
We can start with me. I didn't.
I know. That's why I was like, we can start with me. It's fine.
But I feel like I'm going to be in and out on them. So
Perfect.
First thing I wrote down, Morpheus. Like,
Facts.
because he was my favorite character in the first trilogy.
Yes, he was.
And I was bummed that Lawrence Fishburne was not playing the role in this one.
Yeah.
But it makes sense
It did.
in the movie. Like in the trailer, it made no sense because why wouldn't it be him?
Right.
When in the movie they were like, oh yeah, it's clearly not the same person because the person Morpheus is dead.
Yeah.
This is like a program made like within the game that Neo made, and they use something called like a modal that like evolves programs. So he's like become like a sentient program. And I was like, that's kind of cool. But like I like Morpheus. His suits were amazing.
Ugh.
Because dude, when he stepped out of that fucking bathroom stall in that orange suit, clean, come on.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
Listen, man, here's the one thing I'll say this. As a black dude, all colors look good on me. And I have a lot of colors in my closet. Now,
Nice.
because of the pandemic, can I fit those? No. That's a story for a different day. Different podcast. But I have a lot of what we call lightning yellow. I have a lot of lightning green. It's Oregon colors, and I love Oregon.
Okay.
So that's their colors. I have a lot of that. Yeah, I have a lot of purple. I have a lot of just. I don't have orange, but the way he was looking,
Dude,
your boy might get an orange
he's
suit.
looking good in the orange.
That blue wasn't bad either.
And then that like raspberry red coat with like the aquamarine shirt. He was looking very nice.
Snazzy,
Those
baby.
blue glasses.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So good.
And just the like Silver Surfer Sandman bead band thing he had going on, I thought was really cool.
Same.
I thought it was neat because they took a character that I really liked and reintroduced it different. And I'm pretty sure he even said something like stories or no, someone else in the movie was like stories are all the same, different names, different faces.
They did that.
And I was like, that's kind of cool because I mean they're doing it in this. They're doing it. They're saying it and they're doing it.
Yeah.
And I liked him.
I agree.
It
was good.
The dojo scene when he was just beating Neo's ass, like you got to fight for it, man. You got to fight for him. You got to fight for it. And they just kept cutting to him in his chair, just bleeding more and more from the nose, from the mouth, in the teeth area. Just beating his ass.
Kicking his shit out.
It was great.
I loved it.
When he was talking to him in the bathroom, he's like, you gotta choose your pill or whatever. What's happening? And those SWAT dudes kick in the door, and he immediately, like from nowhere, produces like a machine gun and a pistol, and is just running up the wall shooting at people. I was like, this is the guy.
I think one of the better that was a good scene. One of the better scenes was when he took the red pill, and he was just a silly goose.
Yeah. The fact that he wasn't the guy like who had like in the first one was like, oh well, I'm here to find Neo. Like he was, but only after my next leg got to him.
Gotcha.
Bugs is my next leg.
Fair.
But like, yeah, he got the pill and he's like, I'm here. I'm looking for somebody. And as soon as he, like, the pill thing came out, I was like, oh. Because he was like, clearly, like, at the beginning, he's like, oh, all your men are dead. I was like, wait a minute, Morpheus didn't say that in the first one. I'm pretty sure the agent said that in the first one. And he was like, oh, he's an agent. He's like, oh, what? This is
Yeah.
I like the twist. I liked it.
Him being an agent really threw me for a loop, and that was the first 2 minutes of the fucking movie. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
because I think we looked at each other. I was like, "Oh,
yeah." Because I looked at you, I was like, "This is looking very familiar. This is how the first one started, right?"
Yeah,
yeah. And I was like, "Cool," because I don't really remember a lot after that, to be honest, of the first one at least. But I was like, "Yeah, he was cool." And like you said, he took the red pill and he was stumbling around, and he reached through the mirror. He was cool, and I liked him a lot. He was my first like.
My first like is nostalgia because the way it started out, I was like, "Ooh, this is good." But there were like little twists and tweaks, and that was my second like. But it's the same. I was like, starts like the first one, but different. And I was like, "Ooh, this is good," because it wasn't Trinity in the chair; it was somebody else, and it wasn't Agent Smith. It was the dude who ends up playing Morpheus, and the person watching them, they find her too, Bugs, and I was just like. And even she said, she's like, "This is we've seen this before. We've seen this before." And then, they catch the person who looks like Trinity. They catch her, and because in the first one, she's running over the rooftops. The cops can't catch her, so the agents are catching up to her, jumping over buildings, and blah blah. That doesn't happen in this scenario, and she gets caught on the roof and they beat the shit out of her and they hold her down. And she was like, "This is different. This isn't right." And then they're like, "Oh no, it's a trap." And then the helicopter comes and finds Bugs. And she was like, "Oh shit." So then she starts running and I was like, "Oh, this is way different. This is good. This is different." And I was like, "Oh, okay, fine." And then she gets saved by Agent Smith, who's Morpheus, through a trap door like the trap doors in Matrix Reloaded that Seraph went through. And I was like, because they were in that clean hallway at one point, and then they went into another door, and then that's how they end up being saved. And it was Neo's first apartment. And I was just like, I'm here. I perked up in my seat, was like, okay, well, time to watch this movie because you got me. You caught me, and I'm here. So that was my first like.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. My next one was Bugs, as I mentioned before. I liked her. For once, she said, "What's up, Doc?" And I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Which I did catch, and I was like, damn it.
Because, like, when she says, "What's up, Doc?" she says Bugs like the bunny.
She did say
She had, like, a shirt with a carrot on it at one point.
Nice.
I was like, this is...
She had a white rabbit on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And everyone was... Warner Brothers got name dropped a couple times in the movie.
Warner Brothers got mentioned.
Hilarious.
So funny.
But yeah, I liked her. She was like the first like new character since Morpheus technically already was a character.
Yeah.
Like she was the first. Like her and Seek were the first ones like watching the sequence going on, and like, oh, this is like you said, like, oh, this is different, or oh no, that's who that is. But this is how this is supposed to go. Mm-hmm. And she was like. She was the acting captain of the ship. Well, what was the ship? What was the ship's name? Nemesine?
I looked it up. It's like something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like MN, whatever. Apparently it's like a Greek, it means memory or something.
Okay.
So it's like a Greek god or something, like the god of memory or god or something like that. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Fucking god for everything.
But
no, I thought she was sweet. She was the one looking for Neo. She was the one that like red pilled Morpheus into being Morpheus rather than the agent. She
red pill Neo.
Yeah, red pilled Neo. She helped like pull off the heist thing to get Trinity at the end. Mm-hmm. Like she
was a captain.
She was almost like the Morpheus of this movie because like that was Morpheus's role in the first one. Was like he got Neo out of the Matrix. He was basically his like second in command and like his number one fan of like, I believe you are the one, when Neo didn't believe it. And in this one, she was that role because Morpheus, like, obviously he did his own separate thing. He was still Morpheus, but he did his own separate thing. Right. And I would say that she was like the role of him that he had in the original trilogy. She had it in this movie.
Agreed. Yeah. Let's see. My next like. The moto training. So what I got from that was it was like a training sequence for agents. So the agents, because I feel like they kind of mentioned it. I think she said it. She was like, this motor training. She was like, why are they doing this sequence? And I think what it is, you know how like in the first one there was a training for Neo. I think it made me think of the second one where he was like, ooh, upgrades. This is how they upgrade. They train through things that have happened before. And that's what I got from it. Because it was a training thing because it had happened before. So they wanted to go differently. And the only way to go differently is if you train for it. So that's the reason why like it kind of happened the same. And then when she got caught, Trinity, quote unquote, Trinity got caught. It was Trinity. I mean, they got caught. So it was like, oh, this is different. Why are they doing this training? I think Bugs says that. Why are they doing this training? We've seen this before. And so I was just like, I like that because it makes me think about, okay, agents it's a program. So you have to update it. You have to train it, technically, whatever. So that makes sense to me. It just made sense. And I was like, I like that. I like the fact that we see a different side of it. Because we already saw the training for Neo. This is a different side. And I like how it was kind of different from Neo's new training. Because he didn't really get trained. It was more... Going off to what I'm saying, you were talking about how Bugs was the captain. She was the Morpheus of this movie. Morpheus, in my opinion, because again, he wrote Morpheus for The Matrix. He was more of a remember me character. He was only there so Neo could remember, as opposed to anybody else. So like he had to get the fight out of Neo. He had to make him remember. He had to make him fight for Trinity, and that's why his name was still Morpheus. He still looked similar to Morpheus, but he was just different enough that because it's a new character technically. But I feel like because you get those things like especially like time travel movies and shit like that. You gotta have that one character that's the same but different, so that they can remember, like, oh, I remember you somehow, but I don't know how. Because I feel like if he wasn't there, he has to take the word of Bugs and Seek and all these other people that he doesn't know.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know any of you, but you have the same name as a guy I loved. You know what I mean? I love Morpheus like a father, like a brother. You are that guy. So either way, but the motor training was great. And that's what I thought it was for. Your turn.
Okay. My next one was mirrors. The mirrors were like the phones in the first trilogy, or like the original trilogy. They traveled through them. They were like their way in and out of the Matrix in some ways. And also, just besides mirrors, like just reflections in general. We're doing some weird shit in this movie.
Yeah, they were.
When Neo was taking his blue pills in the bathroom, like one of those there was a few mirrors around him, and one of them clearly was not Keanu Reeves that we know. When he was in the coffee shop with what's that guy's name, Jude,
maybe.
And then when Trinity walks in, you see his reflection again on the table, and it's that same weird one that you'll see in the mirror later. And it's like old man, like
not Neo.
Yeah, not Keanu Reeves. Because in this movie, Keanu Reeves, Neo looks like Keanu Reeves. He has the beard, long hair. That's what he looks like in the Matrix, at least. Yeah, he looks like fucking John Wick. But yeah, like in his little reflections, he has like thin white hair. He's like white beard. Like he just looks like a shriveled up old man.
Yeah, he kind of looks like homeless.
Yeah, and like you see a reflection of Trinity in the coffee table, in the table of the coffee shop, and she has like kind of longish blonde hair, and definitely not her.
Yeah,
and you see the weird reflection of Neo a couple times. You see her reflection once or twice. The mirrors I thought were cool little analogs for the phones, since like you said, phone booths, pay phones aren't around anymore.
Fair.
So that's not really a relatable thing anymore. They were on their way out back then, so yeah. I don't know what they would have had instead. Flip phones, Blackberries. They just canned those.
Right.
Apparently.
Same.
But no, I thought the mirrors were cool. I liked that they could travel, like they went through one and they were in Japan, like on the bullet train. I just thought it was cool.
I thought it was great too.
I thought it was neat. I thought it was like
what else could it be?
Honestly, yeah.
That's the thing, that's. Never mind. I was gonna think something different, but you go.
That's about it for that one.
Okay.
I just thought the mirrors were sweet, and I liked the weird reflection, the weird reflection tricks, and I liked it.
My next, I wrote Deus Ex Machine. No, Machina, sorry. Which is the same thing. I don't know why I wrote that. So just let the audience know. Who's in the audience?
The audience is in the audience.
So my phone's doing some fucked up shit, and it deleted all my notes, so I had to write, and my writing is trash, pure trash. So I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at, honestly. And I don't know why I wrote this.
Wait, it deleted it while you were typing them?
No, it started doing it again.
Oh.
It started doing the thing it was doing before, and I was like, I just deleted it. I was like, fuck it, I don't even care. So, because I told you it was doing like the numbers repeating, so I was like, what if I do dashes? I did one dash, press enter, another dash appeared. I was like, okay, sweet. And then I set it down, went to go write again. There were 2 dashes next to each one. I was like, I didn't do it. I was like, oh, I must have did that by mistake. That's what I thought. And then when I went to go, I was like, oh, let me delete it. A third one appeared. I was like, fuck it. I'm out. I'm fucking out. So that's why I got up and got me a pen and paper. I was like, fuck this shit. Phone's doing some dumb shit.
It's fucking machines.
Back to the Matrix and the machines. I don't know why I wrote this, so I'm going to just go to my next one. Tongue-in-cheek / on the nose. What I love about this movie, this is my number one thing I love about this movie, because just like I was listening to an old episode we did, I don't remember which episode it was, but I talked about F9, Fast and Furious 9, and how they went to space, and how I felt like Tyrese was talking to the audience as opposed to himself. Because I think I explained to you, I was like, yeah, he's in a hole and like 30 people are up on top of the hole. He's like in the hole, like in the jungle, and they're like on top shooting down at him. He doesn't get hit, and then he hits all 30 guys with like one gun that has like 6 rounds in it. And he's like, I feel like a superhero. Like, this shouldn't be happening. I should be dead. And I'm like, that's fair. And then he's like, well, every single time we do something, we come out alive. How is that even possible? There's no reason, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, this is at the people who hate it. And I felt like this movie did the same thing. Why make this new one? Like you said, well, movies are all the same, just different names, faces. Doesn't matter. We've done this before. It was like, hey, or then when it goes like, hey, sorry you got the news, they want to do a new Matrix game, a sequel to your trilogy. I was like, hilarious. And then he goes, and then they go, because he was like, the first one, the first trilogy, what was it about? Well, it was he made it as Keanu Reeves, Neo, is sitting in the room. He made it, as if they couldn't just ask him. He made it to talk about capitalist society. He made it to talk about the trans something they said. He made it as like they were naming all the things that people say the Matrix is. Because I've heard that the Wachowskis made it talking about trans people. Because, like, just the trans whatever. Because Switch, I learned this a couple months ago. But no, after we watched it. Switch was actually supposed to be transgender. I don't know if you remember Switch. Switch was the one with the white hair. She always wore the white. She had short hair, but it was white. It was like spiky. And when Cypher, it was the first one. She was only the first one. When Cypher went to go take her thing out,
piece of shit.
She was like, not like this, not like this.
Okay.
Yeah, she was supposed to be transgendered, so that's why in the real world she had short hair. She was supposed to be a guy, and then when she got to the Matrix, that's why she had longer hair, because she was supposed to be a girl. So but Warner Brothers was like, no, because that's why she was called Switch. Okay. For that reason only. And as we know, the Wachowskis used to be the Wachowski's brothers. They are transgender women now, and whatever. So people were like, "Oh, this is what it's talking about." Which again, I heard it was. I also heard it was talking about, reality, conspiracy theories. There's so many different reasons, people get what they want out of it. And they named them all in the movie in this one. And I was like, yes. What else? Somebody else was talking about it. It's like, then they went, because they were trying to make up a new sequel to the trilogy. And they were like, what was the other thing they said? He was like, forget about the thought process. Shoot 'em up movie. It only has to be action. And that's what people want. That's what sells. Boom. Then it's like, no, thought projects are in now. And I was like, this is great. This is just, they're just talking about this movie. That's the only thing they're talking about. And I love it. It's the best thing I've ever heard. Because it's like, it's at the people who don't like it, who's not going to like it. They knew they were going to like it when they saw it. And they've said, it's like, have you ever seen 8 Mile?
No. I have not.
That's okay. I like it. At the end, Eminem is battle rapping these guys. And he's rapping against Captain America.
Ah, yes.
Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. And that's one of the lines.
I was going to say, that sounds like it rhymes enough to be a...
And he says, he's like, I know something about you. His real name's Clarence. Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. Blah, blah, blah. But what can you say about me? I'm going to tell you everything that you got to say about me. I am white. I am a fucking bum. I live in a trailer with my mom. Blah, blah, blah. My friend Cheddar Bob, he shot himself with his own gun. I did get jumped by all 6 of you chumps. And Wink did fuck my girl. But I'm still standing here screaming, fuck the free world. And then he goes, I've said everything I had to say about me. Now what's your rap about? And he throws the mic at him. And fucking Falcon's up there like... and he drops the mic and he walks out. And that's how this movie is. That's how Fast and the Furious 9 was. Like, oh, I'm just telling you everything you're going to say about this movie. What can you say about this movie that they didn't already say? That's how I feel about it. Either way. Okay. After that long diatribe, that was a like for me.
Nice.
Your like.
Okay. My next like, I didn't write down, but Neil Patrick Harris.
I didn't write that down either, but yes.
I liked him.
Same.
And also because I can make this joke. He played a therapist, and his character name was the Analyst. A professional twice over, the first ever analropist. I wasn't really worried about the pronunciation. But no, I liked him.
It looked different on the cards. Okay, it's not my fault.
I really liked him in this. I thought when he wore the blue glasses, I was like, at first, I was like, I kind of like those glasses. And then when I was like, he's wearing a lot of blue. He was wearing a lot of blue. I was like,
I noticed that.
He's a pill. I was like, he's like a blue pill type person who like wants to keep Neo in the Matrix. I like that.
So did you figure it out before?
I mean, I kind of figured that he, like, after a little bit of their first interaction, I was like, I feel like he might be a bad guy. Idea. And then, like, I noticed the blue glasses more, and then I just started looking around the scene just to see if there's, like, other shit around him. And I just was like, he's wearing a lot of blue and orange, but less orange and more blue.
See,
and there was, like, a blue butterfly on the wall behind him. I was like, there's a lot of blue going on.
I didn't get it until Smith said it. I was like, what? He's the villain?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, that makes sense. He seems like a villain. But I don't know, man. I didn't think about that at all. But he made a really good villain.
Yeah, I thought he was good at it. I liked him.
The crazy thing is that I knew he was going to be in this movie and I forgot. Because I saw a picture of him and...
He was the only other person I knew was going to be in the movie at first. Like, because the trailer was like him and Keanu Reeves talking. I was like, is he going to be like a big part in this movie? Or is it going to be like just that?
See, the only trailer I saw was all the action scenes. I didn't see anybody talking to anybody. I only saw action scenes, and whether it was him and Trinity or him and the other people, but I didn't know anybody else. That was it. Which was great because, again, I stayed away from it.
I liked him. I thought he was
He was
good.
good. MPH was great.
Yeah, I like. And really, the only other movie I've really seen him in is Starship Troopers. So,
Listen, I thought, in my mind, I'd be hoping stuff happens. I'm like, man, they've been going back to all these other movies. If they show him as a fucking doctor in Starship Troopers, I will lose my fucking mind. Of course, that's not gonna happen, but I would lose my goddamn mind.
no, he was like a psychic space Nazi. Or at least he dressed like one in
same.
Starship Troopers.
Still the same.
Like a psychic M. Bison
Fair.
in space.
I can see him playing Bison. He smiles too much though. He wouldn't be a good Bison. He wouldn't be a good Bison.
But he was my next leg.
My next, Niobe. Did not know she was gonna be in it.
Same.
Had no idea. As soon as I saw her, I was like, that could only be one lady. And I was going to say it out loud, but I was like, Keith, no, you're wrong. And she fucking turned around. I was like, that's her. I was like, that's fucking Niobe. I was like, that's fucking Niobe. Then he goes, she was like, I know you. I used to know you once. And he's like, Niobe? And I'm like, of course it's Niobe. Of course. I was like, that's a great non-spoiler. And I was excited about it.
Yeah, because that was something that could have easily been a trailer. Like, oh, hey, remember who else is back that you liked?
And I think they couldn't do it
fucking do that
because she was so made up. She was so made up as an old person because something we didn't tell about, but it's 6 years in the future from the last movie. And the reason why some people are dead and et cetera, et cetera. So Niobe she's in like heavy makeup. She looks old as shit. And I loved her. I thought she was great. I thought she was different. But her speeches reminded me of The Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises. When I know you said you haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So at one point Gordon he gets caught by Bane's men. But before that, they're having a function. It's when we first meet Catwoman. They're having a function at the Wayne Manor, and Wayne's all, in the highest tower, blah, blah, whatever. And he's giving a eulogy for Harvey Dent, because Harvey Dent's still a hero at this point. And he's giving not a eulogy, but it's like, it's the 3rd year since he died, and his program has stopped all these blah, blah. And the one, so he's Gordon, he's commissioner, but then there's like somebody above him. I forget who, but the one guy, he's like, Gordon, be happy. We're good. We're doing a good job. And some politician comes up after he walks away, and he goes, what are you so angry about? He's like, he's a war police. He's a war person. We're in peacetime. So coming this next election, he will not be around soon. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, that makes sense, whatever, if that's the real thing, but it wasn't. And then in this one, she said the same thing. She was like, we're not at war anymore. She was like, so this is different. This isn't Zion. This is Io, which I'm sure means something. I didn't look it up.
I think that's another, Greek
It's got to be.
myth thing.
Everything is Greek mythology, which I love. It's great. It's either that or Jesus. I mean, think about it, because everybody's names it's all the same, Neo, Trinity, Bugs was different, but there was somebody in there named Calliope. It's all just Greek gods from here on out. So I love it. Keep it up. But that's my Niobe.
My next was Callbacks. It's my last that I wrote down is Callbacks.
Yeah.
And it's mostly in the use of old movie footage from the first movies. That is one thing that I saw in a short review for the movie. It was it's 90% new and 10% old footage. And I was I don't even think it was that much, because it was mostly used in backgrounds.
Yeah.
For I don't even know how to say it, comparisons or like parallels.
Facts. Or if it was a flashback, it was really brief. It was like he saw the face and then that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't that much.
Because like he had a little flashback. Neo had a little flashback during a meeting of his first meeting with the agents, where like his mouth melts shut, and then the dude he's talking to, it happens to him.
Smith. He was talking to Smith.
That's right. Yeah, like
before we knew he was Smith.
It starts happening to him, and then you see like the choose your pill scene from the first movie, playing on like a tattered old movie screen, like projected on an old movie screen in the background as they're talking to him about everything that's going on, like all the new stuff that's going on.
Trying to convince him to take the red pill.
Yeah. And he does. Then he reaches through the mirror. Then NPH tries to pull him through the mirror,
which was crazy.
Which was like, also that was a big point. Like, oh, he's clearly evil.
That's when I realized. I was like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah.
What?
Like I had my suspicions, and then when he started like, stay here with me, Neo. Like, and I was like, okay, he's definitely evil. But like prior to that, I was like, ooh, he might be at least like working for somebody. I didn't expect him to necessarily be like the big evil.
Which the architect.
But yeah, like I like the callbacks.
That's fair.
They did another dojo scene with Neo and Morpheus.
Same but different.
They had a similar ship to the Nebuchadnezzar. They had obviously the pods returned because they were back in the Matrix.
Right.
So you got the whole scene of him pulling the shit out of himself, which is still disturbing and cringy to me, which means they're doing something right, I guess.
Same.
You got to see all the robots again. You got to see the code, like the green trickling code.
Yep.
I forgot to mention it in the Morpheus, like the scene where he's like, I saw it on my mirror in my bathroom. Where, like he wipes the steam off his mirror and you like the water trickling down with like the code. It's like, oh, that's so good. And then it was on like windows and shit around him. I forgot to mention that, so I'm mentioning it now.
That's fair.
But like you said, nostalgia can trip people up. The Matrix is never like a huge nostalgia thing for me. So I saw those things like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. But I didn't get the sense that the movie was trying to like rely on it. Because
no, I didn't think so.
Yeah, I never got the sense that they were trying to rely on it. And I feel like a lot of people wanted people to think that. Like, oh, they only, like they use so much old footage and this and that. Like, I didn't think it was that much. I thought it was good. And I thought it was done in good taste.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, like, the beginning was similar. The beginning of the movie was similar to the beginning of the first movie, but it was different enough to, like, for one, it made me question it. It was like, oh, this is not this.
It makes you think, like, oh,
yeah,
is this the same? No, it's different. It's got to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who among us hasn't at one point or another, after seeing these fucking movies, been like, what if we are?
Same.
Deja vu being what it is, and like just strange, like I swear I've lived this before moments.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, and then like just seeing that beginning of the movie, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
This is clearly not the same, but this is very eerily close.
I don't think doing that is a bad idea because this movie came out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You have to remind people what they're seeing.
Yeah, it's like a nice refresher, but also like the whole movie series is kind of based around like perception of reality.
Exactly.
And like what's real and what isn't.
And all the flashbacks or whatever we want to call them was Neo contemplating between reality and his video game.
Yeah. And the little flashes when Bugs talks about the first time she sees Neo, because they show when she sees him, he looks like he is in the pod. He is like smooth, looks like a nondescript, just like they call it.
No. I think that was like the old guy he's pictured as, because she was like, you look different, but then when I saw you, you were you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like the younger version of who everybody else sees him as.
Because when he looks in the mirror, he's like, oh, I see John Wick.
Same.
She's like, this is what everyone else sees, and it's like
some random
old dude from the Six Flags commercials who dances on the bus. I don't know. Yeah, that guy. Orville Redenbacher.
He's like a white Steve Urkel. He's like Steve Urkel, but employable.
He sells weed now.
Yeah, good. Good for him. Yeah, he has an Urkel strain. I saw that. I think it's called Purple
Urkel.
Easy. That's easy. That's easy money right there.
I don't smoke weed, but I feel like if I did, I would try the Urkel weed.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, I would put my glasses on, and then I would smoke it, and I would take them off. Like I was Stefan or
I
Kel.
thought you were like, you take a hit, you smoke it all, and then you look for it like, did I do that?
Yeah.
I would do that and do it every single time.
And then I'd probably ask if anyone had any cheese.
There.
Because I'd probably want a snack.
And guess what? I would do it every time and be fucking entertained. Every goddamn time. Every time.
But that was the callbacks in general was my last like that I wrote down.
All right, I got two more. One, when they jack into the Matrix, it's different now, but I like it. You were talking about the mirrors, and I think I was thinking the same thing, because when they all jacked in to go save Trinity, when they were getting to her, before they met Smith and the Merovingian, when they all came through that mirror and they were all dressed, they were clean. Ooh, and he came out looking like John Wick, whatever, no big deal. I was like, this is good. I was like, this is way better than a phone. Because we got to see it. Because remember, in the first Matrix, it was like, bring, and then they just showed up, and you're like, it was like a phone, and it kept circling around, and kept ringing, and then after the last one rung, somebody hangs it up, and they're like, you guys ready? You like all had sunglasses on. No, these motherfuckers were walking out of the Stargate thing, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking sweet, and I loved it. I liked the way they got into the Matrix. It was better. Honestly, it was better than the phone thing. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Anytime you can get a good shot of like all your hero characters like walking side by side and they all look really fucking good, that's a win for me.
Just because I have to pick this bone, it doesn't ever happen naturally. It's kind of like the all-women's team on Endgame. It doesn't happen naturally. Because people are stupid, because every single team-up picture, it never happens fucking naturally. You can't get that shit on that natural.
Yeah.
The first Avengers, you think they would do that to Loki? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a movie.
It's a fucking movie. They didn't have to do it. You just don't like women. Just say it. Fucking idiots. But yeah, you're right. Sorry, I had to get that out. I heard it again the other day.
It has to come out sometimes.
I was so fucking... That's why I don't TikTok. Somebody's like, this doesn't happen naturally. Marvel's just being woke.
You know what else doesn't happen naturally? People don't turn into big green fucking rage monsters naturally. People don't get spider powers naturally. People don't build form-fitting metal suits that they can fly around in and shoot lasers and still like bend over and pick up a pencil in it.
Speaking of, apparently somebody was upset about the new Jurassic Park movie.
It's not even out yet.
No, it's not. But I don't know if it was a Jurassic Park account or whoever makes it, Warner Brothers, whoever, but they sent out like a picture of the movie, like a still. It's Chris Pratt.
Okay.
Next to Chris Pratt,
I did see that.
unknown actress.
Yes.
What was the problem, Chris?
She was black.
She was black.
Yeah, I think I saw that. And it said like something about, wokeness, this and that.
Yeah.
And someone's like, this is a movie about fucking dinosaurs, man.
Oh, I saw it on TikTok and I was like, I hate people. I just hate people.
This is a movie about Jeff Goldblum and dinosaurs. And he might not even be in it. But he is.
I thought he is.
He is.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, wait. That's what I'm going to see it for. I don't like Chris Pratt anymore. So
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the worst Hollywood Chris.
At this point. Yeah, facts. But yeah, I was like, can we just stop calling it that? Because it's annoying.
It almost seems like it's like the people that call it wokeness are definitely the ones that are the racists and pieces of shit about it. And it just like it's become like a tongue-in-cheek, almost joke term at this point. Because like, why would you bother saying it instead of like, oh look, someone's in a movie, cool. They don't look like me. This is woke bullshit. No, what? How many people in the world exist that don't look like you and succeed and do better than you in your life, and just because they're not you,
how many are? How many wrong. They wish there were? Because One number.
How many are there?
A
Millions.
single number.
Yeah. How many do you wish there were? Fucking none, apparently.
Only the good ones. I can say that. I'm black.
There you go.
But
I can say it about white people jokingly. I can say anything about white people. We're fucking
Me too.
terrible.
Me too.
There you go.
Same.
Anyone can say anything about white people because we've done horrible things to everyone, and we've got it coming.
That's what Louis C.K. had. He was like, if you don't think we have it better, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's like, just admit it. He was like, listen, you can go to any year.
I'm a fucking idiot.
You can go to any year in the past. And there's a table waiting for you because I'm white. It's like the year 2, right this way. It's like, I was like, facts.
Was he the one that was like, if you're not white and you have time travel, you can only go forward?
Yeah.
Or was it somebody else? I forget.
No, he said it too, but yeah, there's a couple people who say it. But yeah, he's like, they can't fuck with anything before the 80s. And I was like, that's a fact. That is a fact. I saw the thing on TikTok. Another guy was like, there's this podcast. And they just ask each other questions like, would you rather, blah, blah. It's like, would you rather go back in the past anytime or go to the future? And it's 2 young black dudes. They're like they're like 20 something. And the guy goes, this question ain't for us. He was like, what? He was like, we can't go to the past. He's like, this question ain't for us. We can't. I was like, that's fair.
I think the only time I would want to go to the past is if I could come back to the present and like profit from anything in the past.
Fair.
Otherwise, I would just like to go to the future, still come back,
This comedian.
and steal all their ideas.
Fair. This comedian.
I'd be with.
He was like, people always say, if you can go back in the past and blah, blah, blah. It's like, would you do it? He was like, no. He was like, not even a little bit. It was like, why not? He's like, look at me now. You think if I went back to the 1930s, I'd come up, oh, look at this cell phone. They're going to fucking try to kill me.
Like, he's a witch.
He's like, there's no way. He's like, I can't go to the past and be like, oh, he's like, literally, I get stuck there because I wouldn't know how to get back. And I'll just be a worker in the 1930s. I'd be terrible.
I'd catch some illness.
I was like, to be fair.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I'm going to go back in time and wind up in the height of the Great Depression. Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
Right. I asked somebody, we're way off topic, but I said this to my fiance. I was like, everyone's always talking about like, ooh, back in the day it used to be better. Why? How come when people say back in the day it used to be better, how come is it back like, make America great again, shit like that? Why don't they ever say like the 90s or the 80s? They always go back to when people don't have rights. Always. It's always the 50s or the 40s, even the 60s. But it's never like, oh man, 77 was a good year, 92 was a good... No, they never do. Ever, Chris. I've never heard anybody who says, man, back in the day, it's never been in the past 60 years. It's always been the 50s, 40s, 30s. Again, when women and black people and any other color didn't have rights. Yeah. Always.
But also, that is like the glory days for all the old people nowadays. When we're old, it's definitely going to be like, oh man, back in the day. And it's like 91. Like, man, back in the day, Saturday morning cartoons, this and that, big bowl of tricks.
But see, that would be great if that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, but that's what ours will be.
They're always like, let's talk about politics. Back in the day, like, okay. Let's talk about marriages. Back in the day.
Back in the day before all this trouble started at.
Yeah, exactly. Either way.
When we're old, that's how it will be.
Yes.
Like, man, back in the day, back in like 94, man, Jurassic Park had just come out. I had an NES. Dunkaroos.
Well,
roamed the countryside. You could just pick them off the trees.
Well, to segue back into the Matrix Resurrections, because I went off on a tangent and that is my fault. To segue, my next like is Pokemon. All the sentient beings reminded me of Pokemon. The fucking carriers that carried Neo to the fucking ship, the little Sibebe and the little Jakuru or whatever. You can't tell me those didn't look like fucking Pokemon.
I also love Pokemon.
Same, back in the day and now.
In its heyday.
Yeah.
Michael Scott Paper Company.
Listen.
In its heyday.
Not even 2 days ago. But yeah, they look like Pokemon to me, and I was
Fair.
like, but they were sweet. Honestly, the best thing about this movie is the fact that they introduced these. The fact that, which we didn't talk about, the fact that the machines and the people can live together. And Neo was like, whoa, why are there machines on this ship? And he's like, you changed a lot. You also changed the machines from being machines to actually having a thought process, and they can think for themselves. And I was like, this is kind of genius.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be the case? Like, that makes sense to me. And the fact that like it could talk to like the one kind of looked like a little dinosaur because it had like a big front, and he actually like Neo put his head up to it.
Yeah, they
And
had
I
a
was
little
like-
head bump.
I was like, this is gonna be like Jurassic Park when he gets like, and like I was like, this is good though.
That is a big pile of shit.
I was like, this is good. And then when Jakuru was invisible and can fly through the ship, I was like,
Yeah, when that thing was approaching, while Niobe was giving a little speech, she's like, "Oh no, they're all gonna die." Like I thought they were getting attacked.
well, yeah, because she was like, hey, don't. She was like, stand down. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so he came to attack because I think she
'Cause
punched somebody.
It approached while invisible.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, someone's
Yeah.
gonna get killed."
I thought so too. I thought Niobe was gone.
honestly.
I was like, oh yeah, they're taking her out for sure. For sure. I was like, take her out, and then Neo's gonna do some kind of, and then it'd be done. But she's gonna die. I liked them. I liked everybody. I like the fact that the programs can become free. I like that they can become Deus Ex Machina machines, and they can have like a body like Agent Smith did. I don't know, man. That was just interesting to me because I was like, okay, because they called them sentient beings, but then they call them sentient with a Y, and I was like, this is interesting. You can just make a movie on that because, like, I don't know if you noticed, but even their ship, the new ship that they had, it had a tail on it and it moved.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is great. It's like new technology because all the technology was up in the clouds above the Earth's core. Now they're helping each other. So now they got all this technology at their own disposal. That's how they're able to not use phones. That makes sense. Now they're able to jack in anywhere. And the guy who's doing the hacking, he can be there. He was there talking to him like, hey, don't go through this door. And they're like, what? He's like, gotta do it. And he had like a little VR glass.
Yeah.
I was just like, the world that they built for this movie was amazing to me. Just everything about it. And it was a vast difference between Zion and Io, because even with Zion, they had machines too. And they were loud and everything. And even when him and the little Chancellor took a walk, like he was like, oh, I come there all the time. I like listen to the machines and blah, blah. Then they got to Io and she's like, listen to that. Complete silence. They can actually make a sky, like an artificial sky. They can grow strawberries. I was like, okay, you guys are, I don't like strawberries like that, but I was like, you guys are building a world. I mean, if we're going to go from gruel sandwiches to strawberries, I'll take strawberries.
Yeah.
Okay, any day of the week. But I was like, okay. And I understood why Niobe was fighting to not be at war again. Because even the analyst said it. He was like, if you just go, or no, either Smith said it, go back to the Matrix, or go back to the real world and stay out of the Matrix, and we're good. I won't try to hurt you or whatever. And I was like, they're kind of living like a symbiotic, like, as long as you stay here and we stay here, we're good.
Yeah, because Smith wasn't really the villain. Smith
He
was just
wasn't.
like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know, I know what you can do. You know what I can do to an extent. Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it.
He was like, let me have the Matrix because I'm going to take him out.
Yeah.
He was like, and then you do your thing in the real world. And then the Merovingian did the whole Green Goblin. Oh, baby.
Stuffing cookies in his pockets and shit.
Bro. He reminded me of Andy when he played Hide the Star with Jayla.
And now the game's over.
And now the game's over. He came out in those rags. Woo.
The Merovingian's not here right now, honey.
Good times. Good times. But yeah, that's my last like. It's dislikes.
Okay.
Do you have any?
I have one.
Bet.
I wrote it down. I don't know if I get it.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily a dislike for the movie.
Fair.
It's, I don't know if I'm, to be fair, when it comes to The Matrix and similar things like that, I don't know if I've ever gotten it.
That's fair.
And I guess you could say that it's like fairly subjective, like you take away what you want from it. Sometimes things like that make me feel stupid because if I take away what I get, that's fine. But what if I take away something that is wrong? I just don't know if I get it.
It's your own thought process, so it can't be wrong.
It could be. It could be wrong.
That's fair.
Because like I understood that Neo was like back in the Matrix, and that he had recreated the events of the first movie trilogy in like a video game, and that everyone around him was like also like a program in the Matrix, pretty much like seeming like they were designed to keep him there,
Yeah.
or at least keep him from like doing anything else. And I got that part.
I will say, now that it made me think about it, it reminds me of the Truman Show. Everybody's here just to keep him intact. That's why the NS was like, we don't have to copy agents anymore. Everybody's a
bot.
Everybody's a bot.
Yeah, I did think that was cool too.
Same.
It's like, oh, activate the bots. I never just started like turning into like not zombies, but like zombies on the fucking train. That was cool.
I think it was interesting because if you think about it, Neil Patrick Harris, or the analyst, was younger than the architect. Like, I mean, Neil Patrick Harris is probably 40 something, but he's younger than what the architect was. The architect was probably like 60. And the reason why I bring that up is because the way he was talking about the Matrix, he talked about it like a video game. He was like, oh, see it in swarm mode and it's amazing. And I'm like, sounds like, Call of Duty zombie mode and stuff like that. And I was like, because he's younger, the video game thing makes sense because that's what he's used to, not as opposed to the audience. The audience is also used to that too because now we're in the new age. We're in 2022. Video games are all a thing. People get paid to play video games. Why not put everything as a video game? That makes sense to me. And so, to your point about not getting it, I think this is the way I would explain it to somebody. The Matrix was reset when Neo died. The machines figured out a way to basically cheat the game and keep him alive. And then they figured out by keeping him alive, or the only way to keep him alive was to keep Trinity alive because them together are a powerful force. Similar to all the humans, spit out what BTUs or energy or whatever, right? Together they spit out the most energy because they're together. And so as long as they're together, the Matrix can live on. But the only way the Matrix lives on is if we keep him sedated and plugged in. So basically, this is kind of a reboot of the first one where we have to get him out of the Matrix into the real world. And he can't survive being out of the Matrix without Trinity. So we got to get her out too. So basically, it's like how all the other, when Neo first came about, it's like how there were 7 other Matrices before him, and they all failed, or they all whatever. This time, it didn't fail. It got reset. It didn't reset. The Matrix reset, but the real world didn't this time. So now, we need to get him out of the Matrix. That's basically it. Just like in the first one, that was their whole goal, was to get the one out of the Matrix. Well, we know who the one is. We know where he is. We just have to get him again. Okay. And he can't survive without his one, which is Trinity. That, I think that's what I would say. I don't know if that means I did it. At
the end, when they show up at Neil Patrick Harris's office, does Trinity then have like abilities like the one, or is she just? Because it seemed like she did.
I assume. I feel like I guess if you die and come back alive, you're in God mode. I don't know.
Because I thought it was cool, but I didn't understand what was going on there.
I just assumed, because I'll tell you what I really thought, which if it would have happened the way I thought, I was like, okay, every review is right. This is trash. Like, I literally would have just been like, no, this is dumb. I thought they were going to Thelma and Louise it. The other guys it. They're like, we don't have to go back. And I was like, and then they clutch hands, and I was like, this happened to Thelma and Louise. Those motherfuckers died.
Jump off a cliff.
They jumped off a building, and I was like, and then they stopped, and I was like, okay, let's go. I was like, all right, we back. You went from a 0 to whatever it was, because I was ready to down it after that. But yeah, I don't know why she had powers, but I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah, like I didn't mind it. I just didn't know why.
Yeah, I didn't know why either.
Yeah.
But why does he have powers?
Exactly. Also, I don't know.
I did like the fact that he tried to fly and he was like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. That shit was
After he
hilarious.
drank a whole bottle of hooch.
No. At the end.
Oh, okay.
They were like, can you fly? And he tried and he jumped and he was like, nope.
Oh, yeah, he's like, can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I was like, that's hilarious. I died. I was like, that's funny. Man, I thought he was gonna fly away and then he didn't. I was like, oh, I guess not.
Did you have any dislikes for it?
I did.
Okay.
In the middle of it, I was like, man, this makes me want to watch The Matrix. And the reason why it's a dislike is because, to be fair, I did watch The Matrix Reloaded the other day. That could be a reason why. I watched The Matrix Reloaded before I even knew we were going to do Matrix. So, because that was Friday, and we talked yesterday. So I didn't even know this was going to happen. So, great for me. But I was like, as much as I like this movie, I could turn this off and watch that. And that's how I felt. I was like, that's not a good idea. That shouldn't happen. But I was like, I get why. Again, nostalgia. But also, I enjoyed it though. So it was what it was. That's my only dislike. I really didn't have any other dislikes, I don't think.
Nice.
So either way, let's go to Slushie Meter.
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Unless you want me to go first.
I think I got it. I think I'm going to go with a 4. Because I liked it. I didn't think it was bad.
Right.
But it also, like, The Matrix is not a huge nostalgia thing for me. And I enjoyed all the I enjoyed all the callbacks and everything. But it wasn't... The Matrix was never like a huge thing for me. So like the callbacks were cool, but it was never like, oh man, this is so like blowing my mind how everything's happening the way it's happening. It was good, but I don't know if necessarily nostalgia would have put it at a 5.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I wasn't in love with it.
Fair.
So I'm gonna give it a 4. 4 is not a bad score for me.
Fair.
But I did like it. I don't think it was unnecessary. I mean, granted, if they had never made it, the world would keep turning.
Same.
But they made it and it was good. They didn't make it and it sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
To me at least. 'Cause I know a lot of reviews were less than kind to this movie. But I thought it was good.
Fair. 3.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because while I don't think it was unnecessary, I don't think it was necessary. I enjoyed it a lot. I did feel like it was a little long. It was 2.5 hours, and yeah, I felt it was a little too long.
It did feel a little long in some parts.
Yeah, and I was like, not really in love with that. There were a lot of, to be fair, there's a lot of downtime in all the movies, and on first Matrix watch and Matrix Reloaded watch, first time you ever watch it, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of downtime, but there is. You know, you got the cave scene, you got the ship scenes. They're not all that great.
Anytime they were on Zion, I was like, they just need to leave.
Wait till you listen to the review. You said that. You're like, okay, all right.
Yeah. I was like,
that's fair.
This is enough.
Yeah.
Enough of the caves.
So, because I forgot, it was Reloaded. I was like, yeah, they were fucking. You're like, yeah, they were fucking. Yeah. And I was like, you're right. But it wasn't. I understand, like I said, because I think I told you that I saw somebody say, "Oh, it was unnecessary." I don't disagree with him. I don't agree with him either. But I think without the tongue in cheek, I would give this movie a lower score. If I didn't think that that she did it on purpose for some of the stuff. But I also feel like they added new stuff that made it really good. And the callbacks are great. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, I give it a 3.5 probably because of expectations. I wanted this to blow me away. It didn't. But I still enjoyed it. But it didn't blow me away. Like I was ready to come here and give it a 5. To be fair.
So do you think there's going to be another one?
I saw a headline where Keanu Reeves said no, there'd never be another one. But honestly, watching the end of it, I was like, why wouldn't there be? Why would there not be another one?
I mean, at the end of the last one, I didn't think there'd be another one.
Oh, the third one?
Yeah. But
okay.
And there wasn't
but see,
for almost 20 years.
So that's
for
why. For
20 years, I was right.
That's fair. But to be fair, you're right. But the way I think of it is the way they flew off was just like the first one. Where they were like, he was like, I'm going to free more minds. And then what are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And then he flies off into the sky. It ended the exact same way in the exact same song that was playing. And I was like, oh. Well, I remember the headline. I was like, are they not making another one? Because they could. Not saying that it's necessary. To be fair, if they made another one, it would be very unnecessary. I think they can leave it as it is and just be cool. But it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. 3.5 or 7 out of 10, I think is the best I can give it. So, I would love to give it a 4. It was kind of long.
You know what? I agree. I think I'm gonna 3.5 it also.
You know 3.5 too?
Yeah,
that's fair.
Because again, like the whole franchise was never like one of my big ones.
My favorite franchise,
and I enjoyed it, but like it wasn't. I didn't have high expectations for this movie. Not like Spider-Man.
Fair.
I had high expectations.
That's the thing.
Highest of expectations there, and they were exceeded.
And guess what? They were exceeded. Right. Go listen to that episode. That's a lot before this one. I agree. I think for me it was expectations because I was just like so excited to see it, and I think, to be fair, I think also COVID kind of took a lot out of me for seeing it because I really wanted to see it in the movie theaters.
That's fair.
I think it would have been fine, but I think I would have. I don't know if I'd have been more disappointed. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, because I won't say I didn't want to see the movie, but like if you had said I don't need to see it, I'd like to do an episode about it, I'm like, okay.
That's fair.
I wouldn't have fought for it. I wouldn't be like, no, we have to do it. We did the other ones. I wasn't gonna fight for it. But when you were like, I want to see it, I was like, yeah, I could see it.
That's fair.
But like
but like you said, it's not really a thing for you.
Yeah.
But like for me, it literally goes like The Matrix, and then like probably Toy Story, probably Starship Troopers, probably Tremors, and then Star Wars and Marvel
franchises.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the Starship Troopers franchise. I love Tremors. Tremors 1 and 2, best movies ever.
I've only ever seen the first one.
With Reba?
I did like it. Yes.
Oh, Reba was good. Kevin Bacon?
Gun-toting Reba.
Easy. And the second one's better. The second one's better to me.
Is it?
So much better. It's more entertaining. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's a good show. I really don't. I love the second one because that's the first one I ever seen too. I saw the second one first, and then I saw the first one.
Kevin Bacon's not in the second one, is he?
Nope.
He jumped ship after the first one.
Guess what?
After everything Tremors did for him.
Did it do a lot for him?
I don't know. Did more for him than it ever did for me.
I was probably Footloose, right? Wasn't he in Footloose?
Yes.
You're right. I don't know.
Yes?
I don't know either.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Kevin Bacon to tell you what he was.
Is Footloose not the best movie in America anymore?
Never was.
Never was.
Never was. Spider-Man always had it right.
Yeah, he did. Well, until you got it wrong.
Well,
fair. Either way, yeah, that's it. I'm good if you're good.
I'm good.
Stay tuned for something else after this. And I'm just tired.
Fair. It's like 5 a.m.
It's late.
Getting there.
Burning the candle at both ends.
Or is it early?
It's
both.
It's both. both.
If it can be both, it's both.
Is it late or is it early? Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Either way. So that's us until hopefully next week. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, because I know what movie I think we're gonna watch next.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's not the next episode that's coming out. So,
No, not at all.
yeah.
So they'll be all right.
They'll figure it out. They'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
They better figure it out.
They'll get there.
They don't have a choice. So yeah, that's it for us. So this has been Keith,
And this is Chris.
and we'll see you some other time.
Up yours, COVID.
Same.